Hello, everyone. I am thrilled to bring you a distinguished business leader with an incredible journey spanning over 13 years in the ever evolving landscapes of customer experience, technology service delivery, and project management. Please join me in welcoming the brilliant mind behind this journey, the one and only Harry Rotich. With a mastery in operations, process design and engineering, learning and development, and organization culture management, Harry has become a beacon of excellence in the industry. His strategic acumen and hands on experience have shaped not only successful operations but also nurtured thriving organizational cultures. In the latest chapters of his illustrious career, Harry has fearlessly ventured into the realms of machine learning, artificial intelligence, and content service projects, collaborating with global teams in the US, UK, Kenya, Philippines, and Nepal. He has orchestrated the delivery of substantial data sets at a truly global scale. Today, we have the privilege of tapping into the insights of a visionary leader, a strategic thinker, and a true trailblazer. Join me in extending a warm virtual welcome to Harry, a name synonymous with innovation, leadership, and relentless pursuit of excellence. Hi, Harry, how are you?
Thank you, Saga. I think I have never been introduced like that before. I must admit. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm doing okay. It's a bright morning, mid morning in Nairobi, and I'm excited to discuss and have a conversation with you about all the things that you've mentioned.
Absolutely. So, Harry, first of all, I'm very curious to know that people usually, uh, we when we talk about geopolitics, we either talk about the Eastern, Asian countries, be it the China, India, and considering the situations we discuss, Russia, maybe Ukraine, and we discuss on the eastern side, maybe some of the European countries on US, right? So I am first keen to know on from the business landscape. Where is Kenya as a nation heading? It would be great to get that perspective first.
Yeah, so Kenya is coming out very strong, I would say. Kenya is now a leader in what I would call fintech, the best innovation in the world that has really impacted the world is M-Pesa. I am so proud
Hmm.
about that innovation because it is one of a kind, I would say, and that is what has put Kenya on the map and Africa also because M-Pesa is now being rolled out across Africa and I think also within across Asia and even most across the world has been integrated to many payment platforms, and that goes to show like it's not always from the west, even down south, where no one expected the magnitude and the kind of innovation and the creativity would definitely come from. So Kenya is positioning itself as a big technology hub within the African and also the EMEA region. We have tech companies being setting up here. I think Kenya last year um, across Africa got the biggest funding ever across Africa,
Wow.
edging out countries like Nigeria, edging out countries like Egypt, South Africa. So it goes to show how Kenya is coming out strong in terms of innovation. So the many founders like myself within this context are a happy lot because we are now getting to that stage and we are getting on the stage very strongly, I would say.
Wonderful. Thank you, Harry, for giving
Yes.
that perspective. Also, what are you up to? Like what is your drive trying to solve?
All right. So I call myself a problem solver. Your drive is basically a community app. We were trying to solve a problem that definitely is so synonymous with Kenya and countries in sub-Saharan Africa and some countries in Asia, I would say. We import cars that are being reconditioned, that have been used, and those are cars that are candidate for repair and maintenance. But there is no structure; it's very disorganized for you to get a good mechanic and a good garage. So only I think only 5% of the cars are serviced on very organized garages. and the rest are left to a very disorganized market. And that's really has affected the end user. And if you own a car, definitely you have a story to tell of an experience with mechanics, and that is why we born Your Drive. We came up with this idea. It's it's a mobile app. You get the convenience to book and schedule for mechanical and repairs. You don't need to spend a lot of time in the garage. The mechanics come to you, so you don't need to drive a kilometer and get stuck on traffic. Um, you get a safety that your car will not be mishandled, and also you get the convenience to be able to see how your car is being repaired at the comfort of your home, at the basement of your garage. So it's we were trying to solve the convenience bit, the accountability for mechanics, and also creating jobs. So this technology is a brilliant thing because it definitely has helped to solve problems, and we want to leverage that as Your Drive to be able to um, create as many jobs as possible using technology. These are decent jobs where you don't get paid, you cannot get customers, and you cannot, because most mechanics cannot afford to put up a garage, but they can operate as a freelance, and they can be able to still make money, and they can be able to save. So that was the idea and the solution that we are trying to bring. And over the last 2 years, we've been on it, and we've seen how the impact that Your Drive has created, and it's incredible. I would tell you, Saga, we really enjoy solving the problems for people and actually creating the jobs.
Thank you, Harry,
Yes.
for letting us know on the incredible work you're doing. So, Harry, I mean, one quick question I have for you: when you hear the term future of work, what are the few things that comes to your mind?
Yeah. What comes to mind for me, I think when people a lot more hear future of work, they think it's just working from home. It's not only working from home. It's not only working from a specific location. A future of work is the freedom, is giving back the freedom to the worker, to the person that does the job, that delivers the job, to be able to deliver that job at at the comfort of their schedule, at the comfort of their abilities and capabilities as well, and also to be able to ensure that they still able to enjoy the work-life balance. The future of work also involves allowing using tools and technology and embracing the technology that is there to make things easy. So not still being centered on the manual processes. So there's a lot that is being innovated, and it allows anyone who is handling any job to be innovative and to be able to take advantage of the new technologies to be able to make work easy. The future of work also a lot more is really concerned about the health of the employee, of the people that does the work, and it definitely opens up opportunities for an improved um, mental health, physical health. You don't with the opportunities to be able to work, let's say from home. You don't get on traffic. Don't get stuck for 2 hours. You don't waste a lot of time. You don't get irate because of not being of getting late to work, and you still be able to deliver the work that in terms of in how you are expected. So future of work is bringing opportunities that had never been seen before, and I would definitely say it's going to stay. It's going to grow. I've seen. I've worked myself. I worked for 4 years within the future of work context, and we've delivered incredible results for clients across the world. And I can confidently be able to say that the future of work is actually within that realm of what is now currently happening across the world.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank
Yes.
you for sharing that. And even if someone who have not wanting to embrace the future of work, they have done it during the pandemic. Be it, let's say, working from home, or
Yes.
equipping
Uh,
themselves with tools to ensure the efficiency is not lost. So yeah,
yes.
so yeah,
Yeah.
great.
I remember when COVID happened. So the company that I worked with at that point had already seen this, and close to 40% of their workforce was working remotely.
Wow.
So it was a no-brainer for them because they had already started building processes and the infrastructure to actually be able to deliver remote working. So this was, and after the pandemic, they decided that they are not going to roll back. So everyone in that organization now works remotely, and they are delivered to the Fortune 50, actually, some of the Fortune 50 companies across the world. So the future of work is real.
Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. Thank you, Harry, for sharing that. Harry, just a question here that you have been managing operations, and you have been yourself. You have been part of the future of work movement or the initiative, right? What are
Yes.
some of the challenges from a global operations perspective you feel still exist? Let's say given as of date. So, if you could highlight those challenges, it would be good.
Yeah, so I would say the time difference really is a big problem, and a big barrier um, when you running a globalized future of work in environment. Definitely differences in culture. There's cultural differences. So being able to build the relationship is a bit harder when you are working with teams. Let's say in when we worked in teams, let's say in Nepal, it took a lot more time for us to be able to build a relationship and get along with our colleagues. And you could not blame anybody. I think it's how we are raised and how we are as people, and the environment that we've lived in. So it takes a lot of time, but I think with social media, with internet, we get a lot more informed about how people live. We get more informed about how to relate with people from different religions, different backgrounds, and different races. And that has really, and I think it's going to get better. I think the world is really changing, and people are embracing everything actually that the world is offering in terms of the cultural, the ways to be able to handle. And when we started, I think there was a lot of conflicts actually in my team, and around some of the things that my team would um, think or perceive about the other team that is seated somewhere else. But we were able to overcome that by continuously helping to the people to shift their mindset. And
So Harry, can you guide us through what exactly happened, and what were some of the insights you gained, and what is the thing that you executed to ensure that all of them are on the same page?
yeah, so I think some of the conflicts that we got was around people issues. Definitely do come up, and if you are having people to work in one team, in I would say in Kenya we speak we speak the truth, and we authoritative, and we come open. We are always open people, and well, the team that I worked with in another country, in Nepal, were a close team. They are very social, and they are close knit. And if they have anything going, they will not complain. They will not voice out quickly. They will not but they will still maybe approach their leader and just so you find two teams that are not in the same wavelength. The other team is very outspoken, and the other team is very timid, and they are not they are not they are not so if there is something that is affecting them, they will not openly say. So we
Mhm.
find out that is a cultural thing, because in terms of how people are brought up. And so we were able to, what we did was we had to do an exercise to understand different cultures, and understand their culture, and let this other team also understand their culture, and also how to relate. And we got a lot of help from our people operations and HR team, where they did a lot of research and get to know what do the other team really like, how do they behave, how do they what games do they like. And we started, and the other team, and we started merging the team and creating time for them to interact on a social platform. Because if you don't create that synergy and togetherness within that team, you will not have these teams working together. And I can tell you, I don't know how culturally, I think it marries itself whenever and you get exchanges from people. They used to play. We used to play their games, and they show us their games also on our side, and we play, and we sometimes we go online and play the same games, and and it was really incredible. We were able to build a team that was close knit, and everyone understands how everyone's perspective. Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes, yes.
Yes.
It's so true. It's
Yes.
like, I mean, operations. When we say it's of course it's about the work itself. The work itself need to be, let's say, operated in a timely manner. But then, from a global standpoint, relationships does impact, and understanding
Yes.
each other from wherever you are plays such an important role. So, Harry, what is your, let's say, I wouldn't say secret sauce, but I would say, how do you ensure that you build a successful relation or a rapport with people? What is your approach which is
Yes.
tailor made to you, from
My
you?
my approach is to give the team the vision and the mindset. If you are able
Hmm.
to show the team that you cannot do it alone, we need everyone in the team to be able to, and everyone has an important role to contribute to the success of the project, then that is the starting point. So creating the vision for the team that we need each other to be able to deliver is very key. The other thing is open communication. I think communication is so important for people to be able to build a relationship. So create the channel, create the infrastructure for people to be able to interact freely and talk and be intentional. Don't just create the tools that you've given the teams. You're not give, you've given the teams the tools, but you're not helping them actually learn these tools. There are so many things, so many tools available right now for collaboration, for even actually creating building relationships. There are online games. There's that you could play. Your team could play against the other team, which was not feasible in with with the you cannot you can it was not feasible before, because you would not imagine that someone will have a team in Kenya and someone has a team in, let's say, Philippines, and there's a lot of interaction and there's a lot of exchanges. The other thing is ensuring that everyone within the team is skilled, so that someone else does not see another team member as lacking behind, or they are as lacking. So if make sure that you're critically assessing the capabilities of each team member, so that you don't create a situation where someone else is carrying the weight of another. So that is really key, I would say. So that is my secret. Like, and help these people to match up together so that they can move in one pace. Yeah, so I would say that is my secret sauce. Relationship, I would say, if you have a project, if you are able to build a relationship is 60 to 70%, then the project tasks will take maybe the rest of the percentage, I would say. Yeah, so that is a very important thing.
Thank you, Harry, for
Yes,
sharing that.
yes,
Now, from a structural standpoint, how
yes.
do you approach operations and process design to ensure efficiency and effectiveness in your projects?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ultimately, is to look at it from the end result. What do you want to achieve? If the quality is the ultimate goal, then you design the structure to be lean towards what you want to achieve. If it's quality, then your structure should maybe focus on quality. I would say, um, you of course we do everything for a reason, and that is what I would say. The end goal is the guiding, the north star that guides you towards what you want to achieve. So, my approach when creating or designing a process is to first map out what aspirations do we have for this process. What do you want to achieve? And once you do that, I think you are able now to build a process that aligns to your end goal, and makes it simple to actually create the smart goals. So for you can then map out all the goals in the key objective, and into very organized tasks that now takes you to the end goal. So I think any process has to be defined based on the end result.
Interesting, interesting.
Yes.
Um, so, can you share, like, from your experience, since you have been managing global operations, um, some of the common mistakes one can avoid while they are setting up a process or a design for their organization?
Yes. You will definitely fail if you do not involve your team. That is a key. If you do not involve all the stakeholders, that's a key project management. It's actually a very key project stakeholder. Stakeholder is, is very important. So involving the team and involving the user and involving it's basically aligns to the design process. You should ensure that every stakeholder is always involved in each process. So that is key. So every stakeholder, be it the client, they definitely need to contribute. Sometimes the clients do not give you a lot of support when you're helping them to design their process. So um, what you need to do is you need to keep them informed about what you're doing. So and always keep them so that it keeps them interested. So make sure that your communication is very key to being able to deliver. And I think the last bit is being innovative. Um, for every process, definitely there's a standard, there's a benchmark. Everything we do in this world, someone has attempted to do it before, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Look at what has been done before and innovate from there. Do not try and create something that is that has never, because one thing is that you will definitely create something that is obviously has a risk of failure, and and you will not deliver the project within the timelines or the budget that you would want. That's why I'm saying you innovate on the successes of other similar projects. That is usually the quickest cheat sheet. Get figure out what has worked before and figure out what can be improved, because you could, if you are able to learn on the why this project failed, then you can now figure out how to be able to um, come up with a better way to do it. But do not, I would I'm an advocate of what is called continuous improvement rather than actually coming up with um, new processes that eventually would definitely take you longer and may actually have a bigger chance of failure, a bigger risk of failure.
Harry, in life we see a balance of both success and failures.
Yes.
Uh, Usually people talk about successes, but I would love to learn from you on what was one of the, let's say, biggest low points or the failure that you have experienced, and how did you reverse engineered and solve for it?
Yeah, I think some of the biggest failures has come from the founding a business. Founding a business is not been easy. One of the things, my inspiration was to be able to get um, to get things set up and start running. I didn't know that there was a lot truly to learn. There was a lot
Yeah.
to learn as a founder and as a business owner. I for myself, I think being having worked in the corporate world for a long time, I think the environment gave me a different perspective of actually running a business and being able to run a business actually as the owner or the founder. It is not the same thing.
Yeah.
So most of my failures have come from we've not been able to. Some of the failures have been while we won some grants, we have not been able to fundraise, and we've just grown organically, which is a good thing or a bad thing on the other side, because without getting funding, that means you are not able to move faster. But without funding also, that means you are able to be wise in how you spend, and actually you still have a lot of control and ownership of, because you don't need to give anyone a percentage of what you have. So we've grown organically, although we are not the pace that we wanted to, but still we've seen growth by learning from the failures that we've gotten. Yeah.
Wonderful,
So
wonderful.
my biggest learning has come from trying out the business world as a founder. Of course, other failures, of course, in terms of career and things, you do definitely have challenges working with people, working with them, because leading people is not easy. um, it's not an easy thing. Being a leader is not easy because you have to really um, condition these people in the mindset of what you believe in your vision and sell the vision. Sometimes you fail to sell that vision to the people, and sometimes you get people who who may not buy in really to what you say, and they may not agree, but we learn from those. I think personally, that is what has really made me a strong leader, by learning from building the relationship with people, building the network and networking, and not burning the bridges within the context. Because at one point, you want someone to support you to deliver something or to do something. So the learnings that I've gotten also is around leadership. There's so much on that, and I think it will take a whole day to discuss about specifically about the leadership topic, Saga.
So, Harry, what are some
Yes.
of the, some of the inspiring leaders that you like you admire, or you read about them, maybe on books or through podcast or through any medium? What are some of the, let's say, maybe you can name one or two, and and it could be local or global leader, like up to you.
Yeah, I follow a lot a gentleman called Jacob Morgan. He talks a lot about leadership on LinkedIn. He really talks about things that touches me. One of the things recently that he's talked about was being vulnerable as a leader, and sometimes being vulnerable as a leader actually can. Um, it's good that you are able to inspire your team, but sometimes it can be used against you within the context of the people that you lead. At one point, I think I have experienced this myself, where I was vulnerable and told my team about some of the things that I have a shortcomings on. And you do this so that you can also tell them that whatever whatever challenges or whatever shortcomings, or if you don't know something, then be honest about it so that we can be teachable. And of course, this. Some of these things would definitely come up at some in some conversations, and you definitely it would definitely come back to you. But I don't. But also, what Jacob Morgan says is that there is a lot to get by being empathetic and being open and being relatable and being very vulnerable, than actually being someone who is not understood and is not. You never inspire someone if they don't know you and they don't understand you. And weaknesses are always there. Everyone has some weaknesses, and you should not shy away from actually pointing out to people that. And actually, it can at some point be to come to your advantage, because at that point it says someone would definitely it cannot be held against you. Cannot be held against you if you already said, if you already people know that maybe you struggle with something and you're open about it. And always people, if at any point that there is an accountability around the area that you've talked about, then people will give you the benefit of doubt because they already know. Yeah, so those are some of the so that is one of the leaders that I've followed him for for close to 2 years, and he's really shared, and he is really, and his book, the Leading with Vulnerability, is a big inspiration to me. Another leader within the coaching and mentorship realm is a gentleman called Vishen Likiani. I'm very sure you must know him, or because he runs a program called Mind Valley, and it's definitely he brings the best coaches from around the world, and the best meditation experts, and he shares content. And what inspires me about him is how he's been able to build a big company within a space that no one imagined that you would build a company from. Mind Valley is a big company now, a world leading company, just within a small realm of mentoring and coaching people. So it goes to show, like, and you read about his journey and how he's done it, and he talks openly about it on YouTube, and you get an inspiration about some of the even some of the people that he brings on his platform on Mind Value. Those are, I think,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, the people that I follow and learn from as leaders within the industries that I'm interested in. What
So
about you,
Harry,
Saga?
yeah, yeah. So I will definitely share, but I have a quick question here. Let's
Yes,
say my weakness is
yes,
I'm not good at asking help, asking for help.
yes,
That is my
yes, yes,
weakness. Okay.
yes.
What advice you have for me?
Yeah.
How should I be better at asking for help?
Yes. So, one thing, the advice that I would definitely encourage you to ask for help, because sometimes the person that would offer that help might not know. So it's a communication. I would say asking for help is just a communication challenge. So I would ask you, maybe you don't like the mode of how on how you communicate the ask for help. Maybe the only option for you to ask for help is to walk in to someone. Can we create another avenue where you can still be able to communicate the same without having to have a face to face or something like that? Can we create can we create another way that you could maybe um, show that you need help in this and that? So other people might not be have the safe space. And usually, asking for help is when someone is not able to really ask for help, it's because historically or maybe even at current, the person that they need to ask help from might not have created that safe space for them to ask for help and feel that there's no implication or there's no consequence. Yeah, and most people, so studying the people mindset around why they don't really ask for help and helping them to overcome that challenge would definitely be key. And what I would definitely advise you is that um, asking for help actually is not is to your advantage as as the person who asked for help. It is not it is not a weakness, and it's not and actually it benefits you. Let's say you're running a project and you're struggling really to deliver that project. Asking for help um, um, means that you are actually it shows that you are actually interested and invested in that project. That is why you're asking for help too, so that you can be able to make it successful. Yeah. Another thing is that that I'll tell you is that don't wait too long for you to ask for help, because waiting for too long will mean that maybe the issue has gotten out of hand. So timing is a big factor. So another thing is decision making is when do you decide really to ask for help? So you need to gauge what at what point do I need to ask for help, so that you don't look like you're always begging, or you're always at what point and at what complexity of the issue that you're asking for help for, so that you don't ask for help for everything and end up looking like you don't really want to do the job. So those are some of the things that definitely. So it's a two-way, and it is an environment, creating the environment, and also being able to effectively communicate.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you for sharing that.
yes, yes,
The reason I asked you this question is, of course, even I wanted to learn, but also I was interacting with some of the readers I'm in touch with, and this is
yes,
something they say that, hey, we are so busy in helping others or giving whatever professional inputs or, for that matter, work, that sometimes it is difficult to surpass that, whatever you call it, superiority or ego or whatever, and go and ask for help. So I was like, okay, yeah, that is something which sometimes, comes across, and I mean,
yes.
sometimes it comes to you, and it's not as if uh, we do not want to, but yeah, that helps.
Yes, but some of the leaders have created an environment where if you ask for help, there's a lot of implications on your side, and it keeps people actually away from asking. So it should be a leadership. Every leader should learn that They should be able to quickly identify, even before someone asks for help, they should be able to identify that my team needs, this person needs help. Yes,
Yeah. And it's so funny, right? I mean, funny, I would say interesting that some of the skills that we have been we have been told by our parents and our well-wishers, that be it listening, be it expressing gratitude, it all boils down to, those softer, harder skills, that,
yes,
let's say, guides, be it
yes,
if you're in any stage in our career, or for that matter as an entrepreneur, all boils down to the language of listening, language of communication. So yeah, sometimes, I
yes,
wonder why these things are not advocated so much as if,
yes,
other things are advocated. So, and in fact, both the leaders that you spoke about, especially, I know about Mind Valley.
yes,
So I understand that, why those businesses, or rather those institutions, are thriving, because they
yes,
are giving that, that is missing. You are asking me who are the people that I listen or follow. uh, I think for me, from a professional front, I like the founders of Basecamp, Jason Fried and David Heinemine. They are they really talk about how to do actual work and get
yes,
everything out of it, and how to
yes.
do that. Then I love to listen to Dan Koi. Uh,
Okay.
Dan
Yeah,
Koi,
I've read a lot about Danko as well.
yeah, he
Yeah.
recently launched his book, The Art of Focus.
Yes.
I would have been one of the first few person to buy that on Kindle.
Yeah.
And then I like to listen to Sadhguru.
Yeah.
He is
Sadhguru. Yes.
Indian
Yeah.
mystic. and
Yes.
and I also like Jordan Peterson. He's a
Yes.
psychologist from Canada.
Wow.
So
Wow. I'll check them out,
yeah,
especially
yeah.
the psychologist as well. I think I'll be very interested. Yeah. There was another guru that I used to listen to. I think he was on YouTube. I've forgotten the exact name, but it's not Sadhguru, but he used also to give very good, very relatable and very good.
Muji,
Huh?
Muji,
Muji
Muji,
Guru. Yeah.
Muji, or Sri Ravi Shankar.
Yes, that one. Yeah. Yes. 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 Yeah, and their teachings are always very relatable and very practical.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Good that
Yeah.
we exchanged this and
Yeah.
instantly created value. I would love to follow some of the learnings that
Yes.
you have gained from these leaders. I would love
Yes.
to read more
Yes.
about them.
Yeah.
Uh, good that we touched upon this. So I would love to
Yes.
know your perspective, since you have been actively working on organizational development and organizational culture management. So
Yes.
how do you drive that in a way that helps in creating a safe environment? Like, what are some of the your ground level learnings?
Yes. Um, um, Working as an operations leader means that whatever is designed by leadership, they design a blueprint for how the culture needs to look for an organization. And now the person who needs to execute this blueprint is usually the people in the operations, because that is the people that actually work with the people, and you are the leadership of of the people. So being able to really implement a culture was a KPI for every leader, for most of the organizations that I've worked with. And I'm lucky that some of these organizations were very intentional about how they implement. So, be it that the principle that they want to live by, be it the vision of the company, be it the mission, and um, what they aspire to look at in terms of their outlook, in terms of their branding, in terms of their impact efforts. So those things, all those things need to merge. And for you to create an organization that everyone within the organization thinks and lives and acts the same way is not an easy thing. It's not you not get all the people aligned all the time. But some of the things that I've seen is, um, if you give people the mandate to drive the culture themselves instead of impacting the culture, instead of putting it as a measure. It becomes easy for you to be able to impact an organizational culture within an organization. Let that be led by the employees. Let that be led by the people themselves. While you, as a visionary, as a leader, might have created the process for the culture, might have created the blueprint. If you are the person pushing it down the throats of the people, then you will never achieve any success. So let it start with the people. Let the people be the custodians of the culture themselves, and let it be driven from the ground up. So let people give feedback if they feel our culture is good. So carry out the surveys. If we are living to what we say we want to achieve and we want to do and our principles, if their managers and if their managers are living to the spirit of what we say as an organization. So I think um, so first I would say communicate the blueprint of an organizational or what you want to achieve as an organization clearly. So communication is the number one. Make sure that everyone within the organization knows and understands. And don't do that only once. Do it every opportunity you get as the leader of that organization. Please mention and always live and show by example, by communicating and showing that this is what we believe in, this is our vision, this is our mission at any opportunity. The next thing is let the people now be the people that really carry the culture. Do not push this to them. Communicate, but do not push. Another thing is let the people give feedback about, carry out the 360 reviews, ask people how they are being treated, ask people how about that, but do not stop there. Make sure that you're putting actionable goals to make sure that you're rectifying what people think is not working. I think the last point that I would say around culture is live by, let the organization live by what they actually say, including outwardly, including what they communicate across to the rest of the world. You could not be advocating for a good culture and at the same time oppressing your employees. So make sure that you put a structure that is clear that shows the company actually lives by what they say they do. Yeah, so I think that is how I would say. So those three things are very key: communicate, let the people run with the culture, don't push to them, and another thing, live by what you say you as an organization. And another the other fourth thing is of course the feedback. Make sure that you're getting regular feedback, either be it monthly, be it quarterly, about how the team and the people feel.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Harry, for sharing that. Also, while I was going through your profile, I also understood that you have also spent a good amount of time in the customer experience domain. Now,
Yes.
you know, I would like to address this on two fronts. One
Yes.
is, of course, while the customer is at your location, or you're in contact on site.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
what are some of the key areas or insights that one must keep into perspective? And now, from a future of work perspective, when you're building your relations with stakeholders and customers
Yes.
virtually, and there is a possibility that you may never meet, or you may
Yes.
meet after 2 3 years or 5 years.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what are your insights on both the aspects?
Yeah, on both aspects of having customers on site. Having customers on site could be a good thing or could be also a worst if you actually doing not what they expect. If you're not meeting SLAs and you're not, but that becomes really a big challenge. So what I would say in terms of having customers on site is let the customer be free. Most people, if a customer makes a visit to them, they want to hide some of the things that they want to hide some things, and and they want to they don't want to show the customer everything. They don't want the customer to see what really goes on, maybe in their operation, or maybe in maybe you're building their product and they have come to check the progress. You don't want to show the customer everything. It's it is always, I think, comes naturally for people not to fear the customer, because always the customer is the king. But showing fear is not the best way. I would say objectivity is the key. Be objective and be honest with the customer, because they're also human beings and they understand. They have timelines, yes, but they also know that sometimes timelines might not be achieved, and sometimes things don't go the way things go. So if you have this mindset of hiding or not showing the clear picture to a customer, either even on site, even if it's virtual, even if they are monitoring your projects that you're working with them virtually, especially in customer service, then you stand at um, setting very vague expectations, which down the line it will catch up with you. So it will always catch up with you. Whatever you try and with a customer, you try and hide. So the best way is for the customer to see for themselves, and actually they could, if they are invested their time and money to come on site, then they can actually contribute to solving what is the deadlock, or what is stopping us from being able to achieve or to deliver the products that they want, or to be able to get the work moving swiftly the way they want it. So give them the chance to be able to participate in actually solving for the challenges that you have. In fact, when you give, of course make sure that you show effort, not always throwing all the problems that you have to the customer, but give the customer the chance to be able to address and participate in the addressing the challenges that you are experiencing within the funnel of whatever work you're doing. Building relationships with customers virtually and people that are working online is key. That is what I've done for the longest time. For being we call it customer facing.
Hmm.
Who is customer facing in this project? That is what that is a term that I've had. It's industry. I think now it's going to be industry standard. Who is customer facing? And this is the person that interfaces with the customer all the time, and the customer sometimes is in different zones. Sometimes the customer is not does not join on calls, and you need to make clarification so that your team can continue to do what they are doing, because maybe you without the clarification your team is not able do not know what to do. So there's a lot quite of challenges, but I think communication is the tools, using learning how to use the project management tools, the communication tools like Slack and the rest, is very key. So if your team and you yourself are not really appraised on being able to use these tools to collaborate easily, and these collaboration tools, it's very key to be able to have those tools so that you can be able to communicate effectively and collaborate with customers, and give the chance to the customers to be able to share information. Even if they are in different time zones, they can still respond to questions. You make sure that you have questions at the end of day, at the end of shift. You send them some questions, and they will respond at the opportune time that they have, and that really helps really to create the relationship. The other thing is, of course, there comes things like the cultural differences and things like that. So let your team interact freely with the client, so that they are able to break down all the barriers around culture, around language. Sometimes you may not even, if your team is not able to interact and get to know the customers and even yourself, then get them know them on a personal, even on a personal perspective, so that whenever there's challenges, they can still they have the courage to be able to face them and tell them that things are not working today, things have stalled, or we have a problem. But if someone you've not built a relationship with, it will be very hard for you to go to them and tell them that we have a problem. So relationship building is very key, and let people be human. Let us not see a customer as a very supernatural being that we fear, but we should always have in the back of our mind that they are also interested in the output, on the delivery of what they are also invested. Even if they are paying for it, they are also the biggest shareholder and the biggest invested, and they will want to see at any point that everything that you do is successful.
So, Harry, I just like to know, being in the leadership roles and positions, you
Yes,
might have, or of course, you would have developed a perspective on helping your team and others uh, on their blind spots, or help them identify their blind spots. Okay,
yes, yes,
what is your approach? And the reason I'm asking you this question is, sometimes leaders are unable to address their own blind spots.
yes.
So what is your method of identifying those blind spots, so that uh, you contribute more as a leader? So that is why, that is where I'm coming from.
Yeah, there was something that is called the five voices. The five voices is, and actually, I forgot to mention to you that this is the I would say the matrix that we used to be able to help the teams understand each and every person in terms of how they voice. For the five voices, it talks about um, it helps someone to be able to really communicate. It's called the five leadership voice, and what we did was we made sure that everyone did the five voices test. This um,
Is
five
it available
voices.
online? Can I do it
Yes,
also?
yes, you can
Okay.
do it. If you go online, you can be able to do it. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have three. We have five voices. There's a nurturer, there's the creator, there's the guardian, there's the connector, and the pioneer. So the nurturer is someone who is very inward. And the last one, which is the pioneer, is someone who is very outspoken, is very outward, and is people that speak their minds, and then we have people who are connectors. They are just in between. In between, they are not. They will not trouble people. They will not rub people the wrong way, and they will. These are the guardians, the connectors, and there is someone who is now very inward, and that is the natural. So it's from one to five. So, and these voices. So what when we did the exercise where I was, and it helps someone to know their personality. And most of the time, someone will have two of these traits. You are either a natural creator, natural guardian, natural connector, pioneer, creator. So those are, so you will only have two voices as a person. And um, and when you know the voice of this person, and then you know how to treat and respond to them. If you know that this person likes to be praised every time, you need to be told, good work, you've done an excellent job all the time, then that is just a default a pioneer. And make sure that you're always being able to do what the pioneers are. If you know that this person like to be given a soft response, maybe just a private message. They don't want to be seen as a limelight, and the limelight that they are being celebrated or something like that. Then make sure you're sending them an inbox or sending them a special message that they will receive, and they will really, and that is actually how they like to be done. But sometimes if you shout on top of your voice for someone, for an achievement, for a natural, they will not take it as they will not take it positively. They will think that people will start seeing them in a bad view, that they are being maybe maybe the manager is seeing them in a light, in a different view, or they feel that it can be easily misunderstood. So understanding the five voices, and you can do that exercise, Saga. It's very good. I would say that is a super excellent leadership tool that you could use to understand your team. And when you understand your team, then and let them understand themselves, and let everyone know who this person is, a pioneer, and this is how they like to be treated, and this is how they like to be appraised, and this is how they like to be communicated to, and things like that. You will always be able to know everyone within your team, and you can easily be able to identify any challenges that they have, and you can be able to support them. And even you can map that out even to how they perform, and you can map that on how they behave, and always you will always have you will know your team very in and out if you do that exercise. You let them do the exercise, you also do it, and then you have a session to compare notes, and it will definitely be a very and it was an eye opener for me.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you, Harry. I mean, 1 hour almost went by, and I just felt that we have just started the conversation. I think we'll
Yeah,
have to do one
same,
more
similar
podcast once
for me.
again.
Yes, I would
Absolutely, it was.
definitely be happy to do one more because I think there's a lot. I told you there's a lot to be talked about. We've not even touched about why there's a big um, shift in terms of outsourcing, especially in AI and machine learning to the African region, and especially in Kenya. We have big companies setting up right now, and and that has given opportunities for people like me to be able to learn about the world of AI and machine learning. And our biggest contribution right now, I think, from Africa and Asia to the AI space is we are helping to build. We have a huge contribution that no one talks about, no one knows. We are For you to be able to deliver an AI model, you need many people because you're using the human brain, and you need to tap everything from the human brain so that you can build it, you can teach the machines, and what that is what is called machine learning. That has so we are not at the stage in Africa or in Asia, most countries in Asia, where we are building the models and advanced models for AI, but we are actually providing the workforce, which is actually everything. I would say
Wow.
you cannot teach a
Wow.
machine without. So maybe in our next podcast again, we can delve so much about it, and we can talk about the contribution that we are making. Then we can go deep into what is really AI and what is really machine learning and what is artificial intelligence, things like that, and we can actually talk a lot about it.
Absolutely, Harry. Also,
Yes.
please mention, for AI focused discussions or partnerships, or for that matter, anyone would like to connect with you. How do they reach out to you?
Yeah, so they can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I currently lead the operations for Smart One, which is an AI company based out of Canada, and now also having operations in India, and we are setting up operations in Nairobi. So you can reach out to LinkedIn if you want partnership. We provide the workforce for data labeling and machine learning. Yeah, feel free to reach out, and we can discuss on how we can support you build the data that you need for your models. Also, I'm also a founder for Your Drive, which is I said earlier is a community app, and we are really working towards improving the way mechanical and repair um, services are offered to car owners within Nairobi, and also we're gonna be expanding to other regions within Africa.
Wonderful, wonderful, Harry. It was wonderful listening to your perspective, gaining insights on team management, leadership, your organization, about your drive, and of course, your this wonderful initiative where you're helping global companies get the AI workforce, which is
Yes.
in fact, wonderful. So, thank you for sharing that with us, and looking forward to having you once again. I would also like to thank viewers for joining us from various parts of the globe and listening to this podcast. And I promise I'll keep getting amazing folks like Harry to share insights on their life, their subject matter expertise, and what do they think about the future of work. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Saga. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.